everybody. Brandon Jones here from GameTrailers.com. I'm joined by Kyle Bossman.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, great. Daniel Bloodworth.
I'm not using an accent.
I was waiting for like a lion roar or something, like a pterodactyl screech.
Oh, that says I love trailers as if I was a dinosaur.
Yeah.
I love trailers!
I guess I asked for that. Okay, so we this morning got an awesome trailer for ARK Survival Evolved, all in game. Thank you to a couple people on Twitter who brought this to my attention, and I brought it to the attention of Kyle Bossman and Daniel Bloodworth, and we're going to give it a score. So it's not often that this happens. There's a game none of us have ever heard of, and then all of a sudden, 3 to 4 minutes of pretty nuts gameplay, direct from in-game, with there's some flaws in there. There's some weird character animations, some weird poppiness, some weird, like, invisible cuts, I think, in the footage, maybe, to maybe, like, hide frame hiccups or something. That they're like, oh, that moment was so good, I want to keep that, but, like, I think there was, like, the game glitched out at some point. But they make a point right at the beginning to tell you all of this was captured from a live gameplay session, even though there are some shots, there's, like, the big circling shot of your home base that, like, obviously that's not live because you're fading in between the different shots to show,
right.
The time lapse.
The time lapse.
Yeah.
The other potential issue that I have is that some of this stuff, this is an issue some people had with the first gameplay reveal, Star Wars Battlefront, that some of this feels staged. Like, it's weird to me that it begins with this guy being chased by a T-Rex, and then he runs into this huge base with all of his friends that are already geared up, and yet he's not ready. It's like, why did you leave your base with no weapons? He gets to drag it in or something?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was just kind of curious the context of that.
Floating dinosaur. That's
Then
always fun.
Yeah, then we see what I'm assuming is the opening of the game, you waking up on this beach. Really curious how the game actually plays. Like, are we loading into a session with these people?
It looks like we are, right? I mean, the way those people are running around, they look like other people.
Right, but is this like Minecraft where, like, I'm intentionally jumping into this world with my friends, where, like, I'm loading onto their server and going into their game? Or is it like Journey, where it's like, I don't know who these people are, I'm just kind of, like, jumping in, and, like, I gotta go and, they have their own bases and I got my own base? Or is everybody kind of fending for themselves? Or, so, do we need that context? Is it kind of fun to just kind of throw us into the deep end here and have us figure it out for ourselves?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. I think it's kind of funny because people have been crying to been calling for Far Cry to do dinosaurs, right? Like, you did Blood Dragon, now, like, do dinosaurs. And where was it? What was the other one? Oh, Battlefield. Battlefield was the one people were really wanting. It's like it sort of feels like somebody said, "Well, we'll do it ourselves."
Yeah, this definitely seems like a passion project, and I got to admit, I got a soft spot for survival games. So there's a lot in this trailer to like, and I think the trailer does a good job, even though there are a couple weird shots. The one at the end of them throwing spears at a dinosaur seems like kind of a step back. It's like we've seen you riding, pterodactyls with harnesses, and then you're just like throwing spears at a dinosaur. It's like, that's not as cool.
They put a lot of attention to the thing in his arm too.
That little diamond.
Yeah, so maybe you are being summoned by someone, or obviously, you maybe lost your memory, or you're serving someone else's interests. And we don't really see the function of that. I don't know if that actually does something, if that's a way of marking you, or if you have special powers that grow out of that. So yeah, but again, I was thinking, the build is great. Really smart to do that, especially for a survival game, showing you with nothing, and then slowly building up. Recruiting with better friends, their armor gets better, your armor gets better. The stuff they ride gets progressively crazier throughout.
Right.
It gets bigger. And
like, I don't think you'd want to be on a scorpion's back. I just don't. Like, the stinger is right there.
I mean, even if it wasn't, against you, it didn't want to hurt you, it just accidentally, it might bump into something. And I guess dragons are the coolest. I guess between scorpions and triceratopses and T-Rexes, just dragons trump all.
That's the one rule we've learned on this show, is always end with a dragon.
And so, they don't show you riding the dragon, but I'm assuming you can ride the dragon.
I don't know, man. That thing looked ferocious. I don't think it's tameable.
Scorpions are tameable, but not dragons?
I know it kind of seems like the progression. I'm not happy with the scorpions last. It's like, wait till I get a load of the scorpions. To me, the progression of this trailer is a little out of whack. Do you know what I mean? I think you could have told a better story with your shots than the one that was told here.
My pet peeve with this ended up being the music. The song choice is not good. I mean,
how do you mean?
It's good for a moment, but it just starts to drag. It really starts to feel like it's dragging. It's like it's this super high thing this whole time that doesn't really move up and down, and it doesn't really seem to flow or fit with the shots too well. Like, it's.
But that's the editing. So yeah, I think there's a lot of really, really big moments in the music where you just kind of hit this huge fanfare, and then you're still holding on the shot you're looking at, and it's like, well, no, that's when you show pterodactyls for the first time. That's when you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just sort of funny. It's like like it's sort of like in that same, that same feel for too long. Like it should just get out of that, move into something else.
Am I butchering that? Are they called pterodactyls anymore? Didn't they change that?
There are pterodactyls, and then there are pterosaurs, which are like all of the different flying.
Okay.
I think triceratops don't even exist anymore. We're in a magical land, Brandon.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just want to use the right terminology here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the things that you saw were probably pteranodons, but I'm not sure. Pterodactyls would be too small for you to write on. The thing that's weird about this, and again, this is probably more of a game criticism than a trailer criticism, is like it looks really good from a technical level, materials level, but it also looks really fake at the same time. I almost feel like I'm like riding around on dinosaur toys than actual dinosaurs.
Whoa.
Everything's like very shiny, plasticky looking, and then I think the animation.
Yeah. Those cuts.
The kind of stiff animation kind of plays into that.
The stiff animation of the people kind of feels like chivalry.
And the dinosaurs, yeah.
Like kind of the combat looks a little bit like chivalry, where like there actually is some nuance in there. Like you can actually dodge attacks and stuff, but if you like look at a distance at people fighting, it's a little bit janky.
Like would the dinosaur really be like bouncing its tail around like that? I don't know. It's it's a dancing.
The guy's jiggling pretty hard.
Yeah.
I just noticed something really cool about when it says there's a sign when it's a hut, and then it evolves into my house, and then it evolves into my fortress. There's a sign for each of those.
Yeah, it says my house in my fortress.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yo, accentuate that. Show us that. Don't make us watch the trailer 3 times to see that.
But there's just a ton of gameplay here. I mean, that's impressive, right? We just got done talking about Igarashi's Kickstarter trailer, and like, there's no Kickstarter for this. They're making it.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. I think why people sent this to you, Brandon, is because the game looks so cool.
Right.
Like, not necessarily the trailer's great, but the game is great. It's like what a sick looking game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's like Monster Hunter with like real animals in a way. I think the other note to go along with the music is just that there's not really any kind of audio coming in from the game either, really.
Yeah, no sound effects.
So
which is weird because we do get the sound effects at the beginning with the breathing of him running and the big T-Rex crashing through your gate, which is I don't know why you have a gate if the T-Rex can just walk through it, but whatever.
They don't ever have like who's making this in here, do they? That's a weird thing to miss out. Like if you're going to introduce a game like this, I would think you would want to show who you are.
Be proud.
I don't know, game first. It's like, don't worry about us.
Sure.
This might be the first game we've ever made.
Yeah.
We might be,
Possibly.
from a modding community, or we might be a couple developers that worked at, making some shooter for some company, and then we kind of branched out. I kind of like that, actually, sometimes when you're willing to put the game first, and then it's just like, if you want to look it up and find us, that's great. We're flattered, but we're not selling ourselves, we're selling this game, first and foremost.
I get what you mean.
So yeah, neat sound effects. While I admit the main theme kind of drags on a little bit, I did like that there was a theme, and because it does feel like that this might be the actual music from the game. I don't know. I would be a little bit disappointed actually if it was just some like licensed track that they got.
I kind of think it is. I think it feels like one of those things that just got pulled out of. It's like here's the long version of the epic music number 34, but I could be wrong.
Turns out that Witcher trailer was music from Witcher.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, they sent us.
We missed you, Blood. We talked about Witcher while you were gone, and we assumed it was not from Witcher, but of course we were wrong.
Yeah, they've done a lot of their own music. They actually, one of the nice things is they've been really smart about giving us music early too, so that we could use it in our edits.
So I want to give this trailer an 8. I want to give it a solid 8 because there's just so much that they're showing, and it's so. And I think there are flaws with the game. They recognize that, like they're way more interested in just kind of showing you all the things this game is capable of instead of just having it run smoothly. I think, again, it does feel a little bit staged. I'm actually going to knock it down a couple more points because it does feel a bit staged, especially the shot at the end, your big triumphant shot. You have the guys racing towards the dragon, and clearly the guy's walking right into the line of attack so you can get a cool fire shot going over him. But again, it just like feels a little bit staged. So I'm gonna knock 1 point, 2 points for the staginess, and 1 point for those sound effects, or 0.1 point for those sound effects, guys. You gotta have sound effects. It really is a bummer that we don't hear a lot of this stuff. So 7.7 for me.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6.5. Brandon, I think why you can say those things is because they come out from the top saying this is captured from live video or live online footage. That sort of sets up an expectation that everything we're seeing is going to be very real. And so, you're doing that to yourself if you're going to go cinematic and also start with live online gameplay footage. And also, yeah, I get music choice is important, but like use your song, use your track. And it works well, yeah, when they're flying, but not so well when we're just like, yeah, now we're riding on scorpions. So, yeah, tell a story with your shots is what I always think. And the story here is comprehensive, but not really a thing that we're flowing through, I feel like.
I'd probably give this a 7.5. I think it's definitely a cool... I think it opens really well. I think that reveal of, not knowing what's happening and then having that T-Rex bust through and then kind of moving into that progression there at the beginning is good. But then I think it kind of loses its way, and then some of these other things get distracting. Like sometimes, yeah, like the editing or the camera work and those kinds of things, they sort of lose the feel, and then, yeah, not having the audio move with it, whether it's sound effects or music, either way, kind of dampens the spirit of, it's like, oh, this looks really great, and then you just like, okay, where are we going with this?
So yeah, music could be a little more diverse. Definitely need some sound effects. Be curious who developed the game. Some of the shots are a little wacky, but 7.2 is the aggregate score from our trailer team.
That ain't bad.
That ain't bad. And again, just like the strange, weird math that we do, it just seems somehow right. Even though I scored at 7.7, I think this trailer is a 7.2. And hey, 7.2 ain't bad. Definitely curious about this game. Looking forward to seeing more. And hopefully, Kyle and Daniel will be here to score it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you next episode.